Hey everybody, Wanna Wisdom here. It is a little after 4:20 in the morning now, Sunday, June 22nd. This was the summer solstice for what it's worth, longest day of the year, and I am celebrating by staying up and playing Skylanders. Not that I wouldn't have done that anyway, but just tied in nicely with the day at hand. That said, where we left off, took Countdown through the other night, wrapped up Spy Rises, went ahead, cranked out Countdown's base upgrades. Very, very impressed with this guy. Again, he was one of the Skylanders in this game I was really looking forward to not only getting my hands on, but also playing and upgrading. I think he could wind up one of my favorites from the Swap Force installments, if you will. That's it. Kind of just to recap for you: base upgrade, controlled burst 72 to 108, roaring rockets 22 to 33, explosive friendship. That's our tertiary attack. You can have two of them, 30 to 45 when it's critical, and then hefty concussion. That kind of upgrades his head toss, whatever you want to call it, bomb head, I guess is a technical term. Goes from 1827 to 2233 on impacts, and then the explosion goes 3857 all the way up to 46 to 59. So very cool stuff there. Now, what I plan to do, obviously, we've got 3 countdowns in this game. If you collect them all, you've got standard countdown, as seen here. I already talked to Gorm, so you don't have to listen to that. You can have me ramble more that way. Light core countdown, and then, of course, kickoff countdown. Actually, one of my favorite characters, kickoff countdown. What I told you I'd do is take the 2 paths with standard and light core, and then let kickoff take down the path which I thought was the best one. I did go ahead. I could not the other night. I was really tired, but I went ahead. I had to investigate it with kickoff countdown. I'm still going to do his all-in-one as a special video, but I bought the tertiary attack, explosive friendship. It would have been epic if the little bomb guys were also soccer balls. Sadly, they're not. That's what I expected. And that might have swayed me to take Boom Buddies forever. But now, the thing is, if I love Rocketeer better, if it's Boom Buddies forever, I can take it, won't have any issues. If the little dudes were soccer balls, I honestly think I might have had to take Boom Buddies forever. Or possibly even buy a second kickoff countdown if I like Rocketeer. That said, for standard countdown, I'm inclined to go Rocketeer. If I just had one character, one countdown, I would probably go Rocketeer. Now, with me saying that, back in the SSA playthrough, I did that with everyone. I was like, well, that kind of appeals to me more. And then what I found in Giants, when I had my Series 2 Sonic Boom, my Series 2 Double Trouble, those paths that have the doubles or the miniatures or whatever you want to call them, those things turned out to be beastly. Totally not what I had expected from them. I have a feeling Boom Buddies Forever would probably wind up being like that. The good news is Light Core Countdown's going to take that. To me, that kind of ties in better with him. Initially, I thought his whole face would light up. That kind of goes in well with Bomb Head, Hefty Concussion, and the Self-Destruct, the Soul Gem. But, as is lights, you've got the fuse that lights up, so that kind of ties in Boom Buddies Forever. So that leaves Rocketeer for standard countdown. So, but like I said, if I did just have one, without knowing anything, I would take Rocketeer. Now, if I take these 2 paths and Rocketeer is lame and Boom Buddies Forever is great, then obviously that would change. But just me not knowing anything about either path, if I just had the one guy, it would be Rocketeer. Just because I still prefer that over the miniatures, even though those have always turned out to be ridiculously awesome paths. But that's it. We're gonna go ahead and investigate right here. So let's guess we'll have to talk to Gorm. Reactivate. It's a shame you can't just tap a button or something. Anyway, we left off. We've done his base upgrades. We're at the point where you pick a path. Boom Buddies Forever become BBFs. Note that is BBF, not BFF. Become Boom Buddies Forevers with more Bomb Buddies. Again, I think that's probably going to pan out to be a really, really good upgrade path. That said, Rocketeer's got an awesome name, and it should be pretty salty. So, focus on missile and bomb attacks to devastate enemies. Sadly, I don't think either one of these address, the hefty concussion final upgrade. Granted, the soul gem does, but still there could have been something in there along the way with one of these paths. As is, you're picking Rocketeer as primary, Boom Buddies Forever is your tertiary ability, so kind of clean cut. I don't think either one of them has armor or speed either, so it's literally you're going to go with the rocket hands or you're going to go with the Boom Buddies. So in this case it's Rocketeer. We're going to grab that. Make sure you're set on that. If you're unsure, back out, watch my videos, check out the site, check the damage numbers on the spreadsheet, make the best choice for you. I do all of this blind, so Rocketeer could totally be horrible. I don't know that until I take it, so that's what we're going to do right now though. Bear in mind, I have the 18 wing sapphires. We're going to begin here with triple threat. Price with a discount is $10.88. Hold Y to charge a rocket, release to shoot a large rocket, and 2 smaller rockets. So that's going to be interesting. Because with controlled burst, which was doing 72 to 108, we were holding Y. So I don't know if this is going to be like controlled burst and just add the 2 rockets, or if it's going to slow it down, or what might happen. That said, we basically have to do these one at a time when you get to this point in the upgrade cycle. So let's see here. We left off Roaring Rockets was as far as the standard ones went. That put them to 22.33, so that's the same thing. 1 Mississippi. That thing's charged up. Basically 1 to 2 second hold time. And let's see what it does. So 72 to 108, but then we've got the auxiliary rockets. So let's try to... I'm going to have to try and position ourselves where we can see those hits. Are they also doing 72? I don't really... I can't tell what is happening. I think they may be. Huh. It's really hard to position ourselves. Okay, right here, the farthest left seemed to go just to the side of the top dummy on the left side of the screen here. Biggest rocket in the middle hit that dummy, and then the middle one went straight for the guy that would be like the middle one if we had, you know, like a 5 side of a dice. And I want to say it was 72. Now he locked onto that saddle, and that totally changed everything. That gun. Yeah, the little rockets, they're actually, I'm seeing them make contact, and they're doing 72. There's 108, but that's oddly enough, I think they're all going to do 72. And 108, I mean, so same numbers, we've just added the extra 2. That hit all 3. The problem is he locks on, and just that slight change in his position totally changes the trajectory of the rocket. And it's really hard for me to replicate hitting all 3 or even hitting just 2, but we have fired that off enough. I'm content documenting it. So triple threat, we're going to go 3 rockets, trident formation, 72 to 100. Hopefully trident formation makes sense. It's basically, I'm saying they're shooting off like a W, kinda. Obviously watching the video, you know what that means. If the spreadsheet doesn't make sense, hopefully folks just defer to the video. So I'm not going to argue that. I thought it'd be like some real complex deal. The middle one would stay 72 to 108. The outer 2 would be like 18 or 20 or 4 or something, you know. So kind of a cool deal there. Warhead hands, very neat here. 1408's the price. All rocket attacks do even more damage. Danger, explosive hugs. So I'm not sure how hugs ties in with that, but what I do know, triple threat is going to go up, and then more importantly, just our standard primary attack rocket blast, which was then upgraded with Roaring Rockets, 22 to 33. We're going to be doing more damage with that one. So let's take a look, see what we have there. 25, so nothing earth-shattering, sadly. That would be, what, 38 would be critical if we ever see it, which we probably won't. Even firing it that rapidly, we still get to see it critical. There was one fire. Anyway, warhead hands, 25 to 38. Let's see here. Standard, I'm just going to put that, and then when we hold it, let's see what this middle one's going to do. 72. Well, that's disappointing. This is one of those deals, they clearly state all rocket attacks. This is a rocket attack. and it's doing the exact same damage, which I really wish they would just word it correctly, because then I'm not disappointed if they say Warhead Hands, your rocket attack or base rocket attack does more, but they clearly state all rocket attacks. And I'm sorry, but Triple Threat is a rocket attack and it did no increased damage. So I'm gonna put 2538 standard same 72 to 108 on others. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Or I'll put on charged attack. So I think that'll be more clear. Kind of a bummer right there. And again, it's just because they literally state all rocket attacks, and I'm sorry, but Triple Threat and Controlled Burst are rocket attacks, and they didn't do increased damage. So that's really sad. Now granted, right here, Mega Mortar 1920 says Controlled Burst does increased damage in a larger area for 1920, which is great. However, it is still a rocket attack. I don't know how they cannot consider that a rocket attack when the rockets are shooting off doing damage. So this is one of those deals. I hate saying it, but I said it before, I really like Countdown, and I hate critiquing it, but Warhead Hands, all rocket attacks do even more damage. That should have applied both to the primary attack, which we can't see here, but you know, Rocket Blast, and Controlled Burst, which was then upgraded right there with Triple Threat. This should have increased both of those, and then this one right here, Mega Mortar, should have been either, you know, +7 speed or +40 armor. And then the other path, I'm betting you, since it's all tertiary, just like this one's all primary, it probably has something that overlaps or is super insignificant, and it should have had the flip of that. One of these paths should have had speed, one should have had armor, in my opinion. It's just, that bothers me so much. And it's not, again, because I'm like nitpicking everything, it's because I truly care, and when you care about something, you want it to be the best it can be. And I feel like Triple Threat's cool, that's fine, you know, we're getting 3 rockets instead of 1, but Warhead Hands should have addressed both, since they said all. Now they could have just said, you know, Triple Threat, or they could have said, you know, Controlled Burst does more damage, and then Roaring Rockets / Triple Threat does more. But they clearly stated all, which is deceptive, and then Mega Mortar addresses the next one, but they clearly should have packaged the two together and then done something else to make him a more well-rounded character. The speed or armor would have been huge for this guy. His armor sitting at 12, even if they did like that funky magic armor thing of +25, would have been a huge benefit to Countdown here. But Soul Gem, we can go ahead and buy that. Hold A for a short amount of time to cause a massive amount of damage to every enemy nearby. This should be pretty cool. It's called Self-Destruct. Price is $25.60. And luckily he maintains his same awesome appearance. So. Now that said, Mega Mortar is going to make Controlled Burst do more damage. So there's our standard. Now we're going to charge it up. This is Controlled Burst / Triple Threat. And now let's see what the damage is going to go. We were 72 to 108, and we are now 120. I'm assuming that'll be standard. No, it's not. Jeez. So it's only going to be 80, and then it'll be 120. Again, when I do get those critical hits, it's usually right off the bat, and then it's kind of like brings you down, you know. I was thinking it was going to be like 120, and I was like, wow, you know, that's going to be like 180, that's epic, and then I realized it's 80 to 120. So, that's still pretty significant damage. It's just, here's the deal. Warhead Hands took Roaring Rockets, which is your base attack, from 22 to 25, that's +3, and then Mega Mortar took essentially Controlled Burst from 72 to 80, that's +8. So we got a +3, +8 base numbers here. Those two should have been packaged, and then the last thing we bought should have been armor on this path, in my opinion. Or even critical hit. I mean, any of that crud would have been better than like something that's deceptive and says all, and it ties in only with 1 rocket attack, and then the next upgrade slaps you in the face and says, haha, here's what you were looking for, and then you realize, wait, something's missing, and it's speed, armor, critical hit, You know, even the stupid health deal, which I'm not a fan of, that to me is ridiculous. I mean, it makes sense, but still, I would much rather, instead of health, give me speed, give me armor, even give me critical hit increases. But health, I will handle through leveling my character up. That to me is just like, huh, you were just throwing it out there, you know. And again, I really like Countdown, so it's kind of sad I'm having to complain. But like I said, I do that not to just critique and belittle everything, but because I'm a true fan of the series, and it's these little, seemingly insignificant things that can kind of tick off a hardcore fan, and that's what they've done here. So I can only imagine if Countdown had plus 25 armor, he would be ridiculous. Kind of a sad thing in my opinion. But nonetheless, we're going to check out that Soul Gem. Hopefully that'll perk us up. The way this one works, we're going to hold A on the Wii U here, or attack 2, whatever console you're on, for a short amount of time to cause a massive amount of damage to every enemy nearby. I believe self-destruct is used for his personal quest too. I think you have to kill 10, I want to say 10 enemies. With self-destruct at the same time, so that's going to be one of those things you just kind of have to set it up. But let's go ahead. That's what we're doing. If we just tap A, 22 to 33 on the rolls, then you can manually explode it by pressing A. But I'm going to hold it down. Oh wow! I thought I'd have to like hold it now. I didn't even. That looked like it was massive damage. Let's go ahead and count this time, and I'll try to see a number. Okay, that was like 6 seconds. There is a lag time afterwards. I want to say maybe all those were 180, and it is in an extremely large area. Let's try this again. We should look for 6 seconds starting now. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and on self-destruct. 6 seconds charge. 5 seconds reset. And that could be 5 to 6, I don't know. And I'm having a hard time telling if it's 180 or 190, so we're gonna do this again. I want to say that was 190. And it's important to note, after I blow up like that, I cannot move at all. I'm going to try counting that out again and then see if I can like shoot the rockets. I'm thinking we probably can't, but here we go. Yeah, so you actually cannot do anything. You can't shoot the rockets, you can't spawn boom buddies, you can't obviously bring your head back and blow it up, anything. But the range on that is truly incredible. And I want to say that is truly 190, so that must be our standard number. Half of 190 is going to be 95, so that would put us at 285, I think. So that's nuts. Let's see here. I think I did that math right. Other way we do it would be 190 x 3 would be 570. 570 divided by 2 would be, yeah, 285. So 190 to 285. And 6 seconds is actually kind of a mild time, in all honesty. Let me double check, make sure I get 5 seconds this time. Yeah, I really do. I get 6 seconds to detonate and then 5 seconds to reload. Now bear in mind my times can be off a little bit, who knows, but that's what I get, and I'm comfortable saying it. The thing I know for sure, 190 to 285, that is totally nuts. That's it. That is the Rocketeer Path 4 countdown. Bear in mind that last thing is of course his Soul Gem. You'll have that with either path. But basically, base upgrades, we sat standard rocket attack. We were sitting 22 to 33, and then controlled burst 72 to 108. We basically bumped 2233 to 2538. 72 108 became 80 to 120, and then we also increased one rocket to 3. So not huge increases there, but very playable. The soul gem is going to be great. You'll just want to set it up, particularly like maybe some tough, slow-moving enemies. You could maybe line that one up, just so as they get within striking distance of you, you can maybe obliterate the things. I don't know. His base upgrades, that wasn't much of a jump. Really, your biggest increase is just having the 2 extra rockets, which shockingly do the same damage numbers as the big rocket. Again, my only complaint, Warhead Hand said all rocket attacks. It only addressed one of the 2 rocket attacks. And then the next upgrade, Mega Mortar, addressed Controlled Burst, which Warhead Hand should have because the name's description said all. Again, to me, if you would have packed speed or armor in down the rocket, and Rocketeer Path, let's be honest, speed would have made a lot of sense with a Rocketeer Path. Speed would have been great. I mean, I realize Kickoff's a little faster because of his hat, but package that in, man, down a path and add the hat on top of that, and you've really got something there. So overall, not a bad path. It's just my biggest complaint, Warhead Hands and Mega Mortar, to me, should have been one upgrade all in one because of the minuscule increase. And then the next one either should have increased one of those 2 past that, or should have been speed, armor, critical hit, something along those lines. Or even maybe making the secondary attack do more damage. It's kind of interesting. I realize it's the soul gem, but the fact of the matter is the soul gem takes 6 seconds to charge. Kind of would have been cool if Hefty Concussion got like a slight bump. And again, if Warhead Hands truly addressed both rocket attacks, then we could have had the Controlled Burst upgrade in there that kind of bumps it up 22, 33, even if that just goes up slightly to like 25 something and 50 something on Explosion would have been nice. Again, my biggest complaint on Rocketeer, seems to be a good path. It's just that Warhead Hands and Mega Mortar should have been in one, and we would have had that last final slot that could have been the secondary attack, speed, armor, critical hit, anything, and it would have just really taken Countdown to a whole new level in my opinion. But that said, spent a lot of time here, shockingly, and I don't intend to do that, but like I said, there was a lot to cover here, and then when I need to complain, I feel like it's the best thing to do, because again, as a fan of the series, that's something that's upsetting to me, so just trying to throw that out there. Again, even if Hefty Concussion was bumped up ever so slightly like they did these other 2, that would have been acceptable to me, but the overlap, not really a fan of that. So that said, we're going to check out Boom Buddies Forever next. It should be a blast, literally, and very fun to check out. So we'll do that with Light Core Countdown. I'll just have to get his base upgrades real quick while this one kind of renders itself out. And then we will move on. I'll take Kickoff. I might wait a little while, play with these paths, see which one I wind up liking better once we have Boom Buddies Forever. And then I'll let Kickoff take whichever one I prefer. And past that, we will move on to Wind Up. Didn't get to go to GameStop today, but they should have had the single packs in on Wind Up, which that's something I definitely hope to pick up. But I will leave it at that for now. Again, Countdown, one of my favorite characters. I'm just kind of miffed that I feel like they kind of shafted us on the Rocketeer path a little bit. So that said, I guess the Soul Gem kind of makes up for it. It's pretty awesome. So I'll leave it at that. We will be right back to check out Boom Buddies Forever, and then I can kind of offer up my final summations on the things.